I didn't know you're supposed to really use it. I thought it was like a joke soap. It smells good and it get a lot of yeah. uh, I hope you didn't ask. Tell me no lies. No, I haven't used it. I am going to use it. I'm going to give it a try. He said yes. And when he said yes, I decided I'm never going to use it. Good morning. It's not manly. Welcome to fellowship. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Thanks for being with me. You can get involved by going to our chat line on the YouTube thing there, and Hake will pass on your questions and comments to me concerning today's meeting. All right, how y'all? Everybody doing good? Amazing. So I think I'll do it this way. Any questions? I know y'all don't have questions. I'm gonna stop asking the questions. I know everybody came to just hear me talk, learn from it, and go back home and stay the same. And wait until next Sunday. Do you remember last week assignment?
The biblical question?
No, the assignment.
Well, I wasn't here.
Oh, you were not? Not last Sunday, the Sunday before that.
The Sunday before that,
It was the assignment, not the biblical question.
Oh, it was to watch our thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To really just notice and say it's just a thought.
Right.
Have you been doing that?
Oh, yes.
And has that had an impact on you?
Very much so.
In what way?
Well, this week.
So what it was, I gave an assignment week before last for the whole week to just notice thoughts and realize it's just a thought. And a thought has no meaning unless you believe that it does or you add something to it. It was just a thought. So I told people to be more aware of that. Just FYI.
So my family and I went on a little vacation, which is why I wasn't here last week. And at the tail end of it, I began feeling the sensation in my head. But it wasn't a headache, it was just the sensation. And I shrugged it off. And the next day, I looked in the mirror and it looked like I had a tumor on my ear. My throat was sore. My eye, I had pain in my eye. I felt my neck, and I felt all these cysts, like things in my neck. And as I looked at this,
You had the Chinese virus or something?
No, it wasn't the Chinese virus.
It was the African thing?
Can I tell my story, please, sir?
What the? I'm waiting for the ear thing now. But go ahead.
So I looked in the mirror and I knew I should be afraid. Like something kept telling me you should be afraid. And I wasn't. Like I didn't feel any fear in my body. And although I felt like I should feel fear. I don't know if that makes sense. But I thought this is a chance for me to practice what we talk about here on a week-to-week basis. So I just came to the present, and I have this holistic book that I use for ailments and such, and I just put together some little concoctions, and nothing changed. The second day, nothing changed. The third day, still the same. And I told my husband, I think I might have to go to the ER if I don't see a significant change, like tomorrow. And he said, well, why don't you just stay in the present, don't future trip, and let's just see, just stay here. And so I did, and the next day, as I went to bed that night,
Make
I
a long
thought,
story short,
I know, there's so much more that happened, but I'm
Right,
getting
we
to
don't
the end
wanna
of
hear
it.
all that.
I know, but these details are relevant, aren't they? Okay, let me just finish.
No.
Okay, well, this is how I tell my stories.
I don't know how this is working with. It's
Well,
just a
I'm
thought.
telling you, it will come together. My gosh. Gee.
I would have heard up
I
and
hear
went over to
people
see
go
the
on
Sinai.
and on your show for days, and you let them. And here I am telling a very special story.
To you.
But, yeah. But anyway, okay, long story short. So now where was I, Jesse? Could you tell
You're
me
about
that?
to get your ear taken off.
Okay, yeah, thinking about going to the ER, yada, yada, yada. So didn't go to the ER. That night I went to bed, and I was like, what's the worst that could happen? I asked myself that. And there's no such thing as death, even though I pictured myself like dying in my sleep. And the next day I woke up, and all was well.
Amazing.
Everything had gone down. And the moral of the story is that I did not act I didn't act. I just stayed in the present. I watched my thoughts. I gave myself the opportunity to practice everything I've been picking up from you here. And it was a big deal for me, to be quite honest with you. Like, it was not a little thing. It was
Right.
pretty major for me.
But I'm not sure if you should use that assignment for something that seems so physically, you had a physical problem.
Oh, I forgot to
which
tell you
is-
this. Okay,
and
let me.
so if you're about to fall off, your blah, 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 you need to go to the doctor.
Well, I'm fine. Well, I'm not
I'm
fine.
glad that turned out
Okay,
well.
but what it
but
all-
I just want to make sure that people don't overthink this and use it for the wrong reason.
No,
That's all.
everyone is different, and this is pertaining strictly to me. So no one should be taking my story and applying it
Right.
to their life. But I forgot this part, which
Oh,
is
God.
that I was doing a detox, and what the reason that these things happened is because all of these toxins were being pushed out of my body. So that was the reason. I'm still alive, and my story is my story. It's not applicable to
And did
anybody
you
else.
know that it was happening because of the detox? That's why
No.
you're having these reactions?
No.
Oh, you did not know? Okay.
I mean, do you think that, what are your thoughts on my story?
Interesting story, but it has nothing to do with it. It's just a thought.
How so?
Because I'll tell you in a minute. That's
Because
a
I
good
could have
question, how
gotten into
so?
my thoughts, and I could have rushed off to the ER. The doctor would have put me on antibiotics. It would have been this big thing that it didn't have to be.
Well, you did the right
and all
thing
it
by
was
not.
a detox.
You did the right thing by not overreacting, but I don't. But if you got physical things going on, and if you don't have any idea of what it is, you may or may not need a doctor. But so we're talking about spiritual things, not physical.
Yeah, but it is a spiritual thing, though, because the spiritual part of it is that I could have overreacted
Right.
over something that turned out to be symptomatic of a detox that I was doing.
Right.
So I could have overreacted, gone to the doctor, taken these antibiotics, which are horrible for your body, but so I probably
But they may
wouldn't have.
not. Maybe they would not. They may not would have given you anything for it. Maybe once you got there, they were like, "Oh, okay, fine. You're detoxing, dehydrated. You need this or that." You
Well, I don't
know
understand.
Exactly
Yeah,
what
but I don't.
would have happened.
I don't understand how that situation is not directly related to staying out of my head
Well,
when I could have panicked.
well, you did the right thing.
But because
by
I stayed present, I didn't panic, and everything worked out well.
you did the right thing by not panicking for sure. But I get to it's just a thought in a minute. I want to talk to some other people, see how they dealt with that. Did you say you dealt with that this week before that? Yes. And what did you get from it? Tell me what you did, what you get from it. It's just a thought.
So I was on a phone call, and just hearing this person's problems, and I felt these thoughts coming to me, and I just kind of sat in it and I listened to this person and I let it go. And actually it was really good, because otherwise I would have reacted and like gone crazy on this person and said, you're doing everything wrong. And I just heard the person and let it go and realized that it had nothing to do with me. And these thoughts are just thoughts. And for a second I was like, maybe it's something within me, but it's not, obviously.
Did you realize, because of the assignment, did you realize it was just a thought?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
It came?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
because I was able to listen well, I was going to react to everything. Because I was getting like flooded with all these thoughts and it was insane. I was like, it was almost scary. Because I'm like, and then I kept listening and I didn't react and I just listened and realized that they were just literal thoughts. And it's not me. So it was really, and after that phone call, it was just like nothing happened. It just was in the back seat, like it never happened.
And so how was it during the time you were having a thought? What was that like for you, knowing that? Or did it seem like more than a thought while you were having them, even though you realized, hey, this is just a thought?
It was, I don't know, it was, I mean, I was flooded with all these feelings also at the same time, with like anger. A lot was going on during that.
Right.
It was all these thoughts, and it was thoughts and feelings and all these crazy emotions. And I had to check myself. And for a second, I went into the silent prayer and was like, okay, what's wrong with me? Why am I feeling this way? And I realized that wasn't me. And it was literally nothing but thoughts.
Yeah.
So I had to let them go. And the person on the other line was like, I had to also cut that short, because I didn't want to be a part of that. Has nothing to do with me. Therefore, it's okay. That's your problem, and figure it out. Live in your own hell, and I'll do me.
Oh,
But
okay.
it was interesting. I felt a lot of things. To be honest with you, it was a lot. Like it was so much. It was disgusting almost. It was.
Did you want to cry?
No.
Oh. Who do you think about the practical thought that she mentioned rather than just a thought, spiritual thought?
I understand where Danielle's.
Yeah, Diane.
I think when she let go of all her thoughts of like what's happening, I have this tumor in me, like, yada, yada, yada. When she let go of all her thoughts is when she got better. So I understand where Danielle's her point of being inundated with all these thoughts and letting go. So, yeah.
Was your point more about you didn't react to it, overreact, or the thought you had?
My point is that this is pertaining to my situation. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that if someone's leg turns purple, they should just sit there and come to the
I know,
present
but the
and not
point
go
you're
to the
making
doctor.
today was it more
The
about
point I'm making today-
you did all these things happen, but you were not overreacting to it.
That's
Or-
one.
or-
Yeah. That's the point. And the other point is that I know that I wasn't supposed to go to the doctor when that would have been my natural inclination to do that before I came to know you and this work or whatever we're calling it. And because I didn't do that, I was able to see what to do and see what was actually going on with my body without
okay.
overreacting.
All right. The young lady in the white sweater, did you do the assignment week before last? It's just a thought assignment. Were you familiar with that?
I wasn't here last week.
Oh, you may not have been here a week before last either. Oh, okay.
Right.
All right. Okay. Did anyone else here do it? Right here and right here.
Hi.
Hi. This your first time here?
This is my first time, man.
Oh, what's your name?
Derek.
Derek, welcome. So you did even though you weren't even here, you did the just a thought assignment. And what did you get from a real life from it, or did you?
I realized that if you act on it, then you'll end up in a crazy place.
Yeah.
If you dwell on what you're feeling inside, you'll end up doing something that you wouldn't want to do to yourself. So that's why.
And so Was it nice to see and realize at the time that it was just a thought with no meaning? It had no meaning.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually moving here from Memphis. I just moved here. I got an apartment out there.
You moved from the hood to the hood?
Yeah, from the hood to the hood.
Memphis is a bad area. You moved to California? What the? But go ahead.
I feel like it's worse out there though.
Yeah, because it's
Then-
been going on for so long. This is kind of new for us.
Oh, this is new. Well,
And for the last few years, a couple of years been bad here, but normally it's nice.
yeah, no, I'm used to crazier stuff, but
Yeah.
yeah, this is actually nice. But yeah, just this whole week, I just been watching my thoughts because my whole family just been telling me, you know, you don't need to go out there, you know, you know, what are you gonna do, you know, how you
How
gonna
old
make
are you?
money? I'm 25.
Right on.
Yeah, and yeah, they were just real concerned about what I had going, and I just had to let them know, you know, I'm grown now, so whatever I do is my decision. So
Right on.
yeah.
No, they're not concerned about you at all. It just felt good to pretend that they were concerned about you.
That was my question too, because I was like, they say they're concerned, but I remember in a previous message you said family members really aren't concerned about
Not at all.
each other, and I was really hoping you dwell on that because I remember your last message, but I didn't
It
really.
just feel good to say, "Oh, don't go. What you gonna do out there? We love you. Stay here. Stay in the hood and get killed." No, I'm saying.
No.
But they don't care. Nobody cares about anybody. It just thrills that you get from pretending that you care.
Yeah.
And you can tell that, you can test it, that no one cares. Because let's say that they gave you really good advice. Let's say that they care advice they gave you, right?
Yeah.
But you said, no thing, I don't want to, I'm going to move anyway. They would got ticked just like that. And then were like, well, what about the message that you cared about me? They don't care about you. It's a thrill.
Yeah,
Isn't that amazing?
it is.
There's no love.
That's absolutely true. I actually did experience that this week, just from my pops and my mom, and it was just like, well, it was really my mom. My pops was really kind of like, okay, but he's kind of, I can tell I don't want to say beta male because that's my pops, but you know, he's like, he's really attached to his mom. So, you know, he's got like that whole
Yeah.
motherly instinct, like, you know, what are you gonna eat today? Or, you know, like, he just asks me stuff like what a mom would ask, you know.
Can you imagine my parents telling me at 18, you're out of here? Like, you're out of here, you gotta go. Well, where am I going? You know, because at that time I wasn't thinking about where I'm going, right? They're like, I don't know, I don't care, you're just out of here. And they let me go, and I'm out of there. That's beautiful. They were like, oh, be careful, don't go here, don't go there. They didn't even think, and they didn't even write me a letter or phone call.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that amazing? I love that.
Yeah.
Either you sink or swim. And that's what love is. You raised me up to teach me to work and be responsible, take care of myself. At 18, it's time to go. And nobody worried. They didn't give me the talk. Oh, they didn't sit me down. Be careful. Watch out for the blacks. or any of that. Isn't that amazing? They didn't give me money to come. They didn't even get, I'm just now remember, they didn't give me money to come out here. I had to get a job at 18. Can you imagine? Mama, you're supposed to give me money. That was beautiful, man. I went through a lot, but thank God.
Yeah, I didn't get no money either. I actually had some money, so.
Nice.
Yeah.
Maybe you should ask that woman down in Georgia. She always had $200. What that DA woman name? She says it's the black thing. They always have money. Fannie Lou. But anyway, thank you. Welcome, man. Yes, sir. You thought you did the thought. It's just a thought. It's amazing how many of y'all don't do this stuff, and it's just going to help you. You're not going to get there unless you do the work. And it's funny, not funny, but it's amazing that look like this would be priority in your life, to just work on yourself. But I understand. That's why God said only a few is going to find it. But go ahead. So you did just a thought assignment that week. And go ahead.
Yes, I did. And right now I'm feeling fear. I rarely do, especially when I'm speaking. And, whoa, okay. Anyways.
And what are you doing about it right now?
Nothing.
Nice.
Just watching it.
Yeah.
And
that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to feel it, watch it, and do nothing.
yes.
Don't fight it, give up, and just let it happen.
And I didn't realize how much fear or anger I had throughout the day. I was like, wow, I'm an angry, fearful man.
Yeah.
I may look in the outside some type of way, but looking at myself, I was like, wow. Even now, I'm even shaking a little bit. That's kind of funny.
Right on.
And so I kept doing
And
it.
don't save yourself from it. That's what God is trying to save you from. He said, present your body as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable. He means to that. When the fear is there, when the doubt, when the worry and the anger, and when everything is there, you let it be so that he can save you from it, because it's evil. It's just evil. It's not you.
Wow. Yeah, and like I said, so amazing. So then I go out through, I keep doing it, and then I keep thinking, wow, I got this. Man, Satan ain't got nothing on me. And so I start walking like I got some, and then I keep going. And then in the middle of the night, I wake up, and I went through an ego death like out of this world, because when I woke up, I was going crazy. My thoughts were like, I even heard yelling and everything. And I get up, and I'm just like, it's like in the middle of the night, so it's dark. There's no noise, there's nothing, so it's just me. And I'm all like, take a shower, do something. So at that point, I'm just like, I get up, and then I fall to my knees. And I begin to go crazy. I'm like, what's going on? And I begin to like hyperventilate and all that. And I just keep watching it, and I'm like, wow, this is not good. So I just stayed with it. At one point, I even began to cry. And I fall down on my knees like a fetal position. I'm just like going crazy. I'm like, how long is this gonna last? I'm gonna get up, go to the restroom, put some water in my face, go with my dog or something. Nah, I just stayed with it. And after it was all said and done, it was beautiful. I felt clean afterwards.
Right on.
Just like now, right now I'm feeling clean speaking this, because it's telling me not. Don't say. Why are you saying all these things? You're gonna look at you and they're gonna think your son. You know what I mean? So
Nice.
yeah, thank you.
Right on, man. Stay with it.
Yes.
So I got to ask this question. Yes, ma'am. Why are you looking crazy?
I was just listening to him and just agreeing, because I felt the exact same thing.
Right on.
The exact same thing. So I was just listening.
Oh,
to
okay.
him. Yeah.
Well, they explain it. I can ask you how many demons have you seen inside of you lately?
You want like a number?
Well, just lately demons.
Okay.
Not all the demons of all this time. But
Okay.
lately, how many have you seen inside of you?
Oh. Okay, so you mean give it a name, or
I'm sorry?
like, do you want me to name it?
No, yeah, I just want to know the number of demons you've seen inside of you.
Ooh. Really, it's hard to keep track, because you think one is one thing and it's really something else.
Meaning what? 'Cause you were right about that.
It's like you think this is like the spirit of anger, but then it turns out to be the spirit of fear, or like it just keeps doubling down into something else.
And all those are demons inside of you.
Yes. So it's a lot.
Do you recognize at the time that you're seeing them that they're demons?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yes.
And how does that help you?
How does it help me?
To know at the time that these are demons.
Well, it's relieving to know, because I know that it's not me. because this week it seems like for the first time, it seems they come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, why am I feeling sad? Like, this was super random. Where did this come from? And I'm like, oh, that's not me. That's just somebody else. There's somebody else up there. I don't know what they're doing. But it's relieving to know, but it's also kind of like shocking.
And you say shocking, what do you mean?
It's shocking to know because I've went so long identifying it as me.
Yeah, nice.
Because that can make you go crazy. Thinking
Somebody
like,
working on themselves. That's amazing.
yeah.
That's good.
Thank you.
It's not you.
Yeah.
Okay. How many demons have you seen within yourself? The young lady right here.
This week or just
yeah.
in?
Just this week, yesterday, day before, whatever.
Quite a few. I've been very aware of them. Do you want?
What they look like?
Well, it's kind of like what he was talking about. Like I can be in the middle of a conversation with somebody and start feeling like my heart pounding and almost like a physical reaction.
Speak up a little bit.
Almost like a physical reaction of shaking where I can start to look at there's anger and irritation and I don't know. I just stare at that almost to a point where it's almost like I'm to focus on what somebody else is saying. It's almost difficult because I'm looking at what's going on, and I can identify that that's the hell going off in me. And the more that I sit with it and look at it, it does go away because I see exactly what it is. To say how many, I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah.
You have a lot of them?
I think generally speaking, there's a lot. They like to, kind of like what she was saying, you think something is one thing, and the more you sit and look at it, it's really something else. Actually, I was talking to Rochelle about this week. It's almost like I've gotten to the point that these thoughts I can see are these fast-moving demons, almost like a tree blowing in the wind of a distraction. And as I sit and identify these feelings that I'm having physically, those feel like a bigger dog in this fight.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know how many.
Right here. The young lady in black here. This your first time here?
Yeah,
Oh, what's your name?
Anna.
Welcome.
Thank
How did
you.
you hear about us?
My husband and I actually watch you on YouTube
Oh, okay.
pretty often. We live about 5 hours away. We were in the area for an event, and so we wanted to make sure we
Right
caught
on.
this before we left back home.
Nice. And how many demons have you seen in yourself this week?
I don't know if I'm interpreting the question differently, but I would say none, because like how I interpret the question is I have Jesus in me, therefore there's no space for a demon or demons in me. I
Did
feel
you say
like
9 or none?
none. None, yeah.
So you have no demon?
No, I'm sure.
Okay, we'll see.
I'm
before
sure
this
there's like
meeting
a
is up.
difference in like I'm sure there's a difference in like acting in my flesh or like still having thoughts of the flesh, but I feel that's different than interpreting it as having demons. I don't
What
know
would
if
you
that
call
makes
it?
sense.
You call your demons thought what of the flesh?
I'm saying so because I have Jesus in me, I don't think that there's room for demons in me. But obviously I'm not perfect. So I think that when I act imperfectly or let thoughts creep in that are not of God, those would be me acting in my flesh. I don't know if that makes sense.
No. You want to try again?
So like,
How many? So you have no demons?
I guess I maybe just don't label them as demons.
Are you saying that? What do you call them?
I guess it would just be me acting in flesh.
It'll be you acting in flesh?
Yeah, me being in my flesh and not.
Oh, I see. So you are the demons.
No. No.
You're not the demons?
No.
And so who's doing the acting in your flesh?
The flesh. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. I don't know.
You never wonder, okay, something acting in my flesh. And you never wonder who it is or what it is?
I guess if it's not coming from God, then the only other thing would be not of God, and not of God would be dark, right? Darkness.
It would be evil.
Right.
And so you got evil happening in the flesh, right? And you have God happening where?
What's that verse? And he puts all his words in your
can't help
heart
it.
and in your mind. In your heart, I
You're
guess.
on your own right here.
In your heart. In your heart.
What?
In my heart.
Oh, God acting in the heart? Are you a sinner?
I mean, they're forgiven, but yes.
You are a sinner?
I mean, not purposely, but I'm not perfect, so therefore, yes.
Are you a sinner?
Yes?
Oh. Which is easier to accept, that you are a sinner or all your sins been wiped away?
All my sins have been wiped away.
Then why do you call yourself a sinner?
I guess if I say I'm not, then it seems as if you're saying that all you do is perfect, which isn't true.
Where
Which
do you get that from?
thoughts, which I shouldn't have, right?
So you believe those those are things in the flesh, that's not you.
Yeah.
And so the thoughts are telling you what?
That you're not perfect and that you are a sinner.
Right. And why do you believe them?
I shouldn't.
Why do you?
I guess that would be a demon, right?
Yeah.
Allowing me to let those thoughts creep in.
Isn't it amazing that you're not that, but you believe that you are?
Right.
Do you obey your husband?
Oh, yeah.
You obey your husband? Oh, good. We'll get to that in a minute.
Oh, no.
Restrooms are the restrooms.
Amazing. How many demons have you seen in you this week?
I don't count the demons
And why not?
inside of me. When I feel
Well,
something.
you don't have to count them, but be aware of them. I know what you mean.
But when I feel something that would be considered a demon, I literally come back to the present. I literally do that. I watch myself throughout the day. I will go off to the restroom and do the silent prayer if I'm working or if I'm at home. So I don't focus so much on the demons. Because in my opinion, that's God's business to deal with that. My business is to deal with being present with him.
Okay. Amazing. The young man right behind you. How many demons have you seen in you this week?
All of them.
How many?
A lot.
A lot of them this week?
Yeah.
And what did they look like?
They look like impatience, happiness, false hope, joy, anger. They look like everything. They look like me.
Amazing.
Yeah.
The young lady behind you. How many demons have you seen in yourself this week?
A lot.
And what did they look like?
Up and downness, sadness, joy, anger, disappointment, just a whole rack of stuff.
Right. And how do you deal with it when you see them?
More so now I'm just watching them and observing them and catching them. Sometimes I catch it real quick, and then sometimes it takes me a hot minute.
Nice. Did you know about the assignment? It just thought you weren't aware of that.
No, we've been at weddings the last
Right.
2 Sundays. So.
Oh, okay. Yes, Raymond. Can someone? Huh? Oh. Can someone shoot the kids?
As
Yeah, it'll be. She was just clicking on something. They're coming down. Where was I? Oh yes, Raymond.
as I was saying, I was aware of more demons than I was able to count.
And what did they look like?
Looked like me doing 100,000 dumb, unforgivable, and angry things.
And how did you deal with when you saw them? How did you handle it?
I humbled myself to the fact that I can't do anything about it.
Oh, okay. Amazing. Amazing. Yes, sir.
I actually had a question. Is it a demon in you if you want to keep somebody around in your life?
So what now?
Is it a demon in you if you want to keep somebody around in your life, like a friend?
Yes. If
I was
you're
actually
trying to
gonna-
hold on to anyone or anything, you're being controlled by demons. It's a demon. You got to let people go. You can't. You have to. You can't. You shouldn't try to hold on to anyone or anything. And yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was actually just gonna ask like a question about losing people in your life. Like, is it best to like try to like make things right with them, or is it should you just let them go and let them be them? You know.
What do you mean make things right with them?
Just try to be brief. I had a close friend. We had like a really bad argument, and like he's like one of the only people I really talk to. Like I have friends, but like there are only a few people that I really open up to, and he's like one of the guys that like I really open up to. Like I see as like my brother, you know, like the father I never had. He's like an older guy, so
Right.
he's like the father I never kind of had, and like I don't know, he kind of like we were just having it was over politics. It was dumb. Like it wasn't even that serious. And like we had he just blew up on me. I don't even know what happened. And then he just like blocked me. I was trying to get in contact with him. Like he just totally like flipped on me. And it's not of him. I thought maybe like he was going through a rough patch in his life or something. But I was like, over the past couple of days, I was just trying to like mend things with him. Like, hey, like look, you know, I'm sorry, you know, blah blah blah. And I just thought, like, is that really what I should be doing?
No,
or should I just
not
let
at
him?
all. The first contact was what happened, and they refused to respond to that because God said when you have issue with one another, you go to the source. Don't go to everybody else. Go to them, deal with it. Sorry about what happened, and be done with it. That first call was enough. Don't call him anymore. Be glad you see the hell in him, and he was never a friend anyway. And be glad to see that and let him go. Just don't be angry at him. Wish him well, and you go on with your life. Do not call him back because you'll bring him back into your life and he'll destroy you. So be glad to see that hell. So the reason I asked about the demon, how many demons you see yourself, I was at another business the other day, and so I parked in the parking lot, and on my way out, I gave the parking attendant a tip, which I never do, because black people don't tip. It was hard for me to get that tip. No. Yeah, it was just $1 too. But anyway, I gave him the tip, and so I'm driving down to the gate so the gate can come up to let me out, but the gate didn't go up, right? And so when I gave the guy the tip, he was like, "Oh, senor, thank you, Mamma Mia." I'm like, "You really busy today?" Because he was busy. "Oh, yeah, si, senor, I'm busy. And then he said, "Okay, thank you, senor." You gave me a ticket. He was all friendly. And then when I got to the gate, it wouldn't go up. I put my ticket in, but it wouldn't go up. I'm like, "The gate won't go up." He's like, "Okay." So he came over to help me, and the gate still didn't go up. And right away, he snapped. He went from friendly to Mexican talk. I didn't even know what he was saying. I'm like, "But the gate won't go up." He's like, "Well, you got a bad back." He said, "You need to put money in there." I said, "No, I stayed during the amount of time that I should have stayed where you don't have to pay." I made sure of that. And he's like, no, you got to put money. I'm like, "No." I said, "Okay, no problem. I'll go back into the building and I have them validate. It'll be fine." And he was like freaking out. And so I just stayed calm. I let him freak out. And so a bunch of cars were behind me by that time. He's like, you got to back up. I said, okay, I'll back up. And the cars behind me, the people were willing to back to let me. But this guy was freaking out. He got so mad. He ended up paying money for the ticket. But what I really, he went from hot to cold, or cold to hot, whatever, hot to cold. And I realized in that moment, those were the different demons in him. Those are different demons. Have you ever seen, or maybe even yourself been that way, you feel nice and friendly towards someone for a moment, and the moment things change, you go to nasty, mean, or you start thinking about things, and you act out. Those are demons in the different personalities. But those are demons. And it was interesting to see that happen right in front of my eyes. I wasn't looking for it, but those are demons. You could be mad one minute and someone disagree with you or embarrass you for a little bit, now you ready to go off. And I'm making this real clear because those are demons. And you need to see those so that you don't identify with them thinking that they are you. Because if you get mad or you feel something about what someone else said, it's not the other person's fault. It's you. Those are things that are inside your imagination and emotions. And I want you to be aware of that because it's the awareness that will change it. Don't call them you, but just see it. And the demon come all kinds of ways, so you get all kinds of opportunities to see it. And I thought about you when you were saying you get ticked. You're friendly and then someone says something, then you get ticked. Do you realize those are different demons? A nice demon and a tick demon is a demon?
I realize that the demons are there for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And be aware of that. And God wants you to be aware of them. He wants you to see them and stop calling them you. Because you'll say to me, you'll say, oh, I'm so mean. Or oh, I'm so nice. Or I overreacted. Don't say I overreacted or I'm mean. Have no conversation with those things. Just see them because they're not you. They're not you. They're not even in you. They're in your imagination.
Jesse, can I ask a question pertaining to that?
Yes.
So, is it okay then, because the way I've been approaching this is literally, I see like I might feel annoyed by something someone says, right?
Right.
And instead of responding or acting on it at all, I acknowledge that's there, that's something that I need to overcome, but I don't think about it any further after that. I just come to the present, and I feel like that is totally that's God's job. I have nothing to do with that.
That's
it isn't
right.
me anyway. So is it okay to just discard it like that? I mean, do you feel like that's the healthy thing to do, to just discard it like that, or to really look at it?
Well, you wanna see it. You wanna see it, and you don't. And you're right. Don't do anything about it, but see it. Right, and seeing it, you're presenting your body a living sacrifice unto God, and He's destroying those demons in you, because you're giving up, and you're letting God do it. So absolutely, but don't let's say that they don't go away right away. The thoughts and the feeling doesn't go away. You just watch however long you have to watch it. You watch it, then they'll be gone.
Yeah, because even actually, you know, my story was very profound. Like, my husband and I have been kind of talking about it because
What
it was
story?
super impact. The boring one that you were telling me to speed through. And of all the nerve, but no, I got nothing but love for you. But
Are you sitting at me about that story too?
well, a little, like, you know, I'm surprised you didn't see the profundity in it.
And so are you sitting there a little tick?
A little.
Whoa.
Yes, a little.
Do you realize that that's not you that tick?
Absolutely. That's why I let it go, and it just went away, and I'm here.
So you don't feel it anymore?
Not at all.
It's gone.
It's completely
Nice.
gone, because I know that was a profound moment, and it was a moment for me to get closer to God and see Him as someone I've never seen Him as before. Like, He literally walked me through that.
And see,
it
that
was
may
just so amazing.
It may have been, it might have been a profound service to you and your husband, right? But that doesn't mean we want to hear it all day in the meeting.
Well,
You know what I mean? Because it's not that profound to us.
well, it may be profound to someone here or in the listening audience. How would you know, Jesse?
They don't care.
They care.
No.
They do.
That
Yes,
just sounds
sir.
exciting to you. Nobody in the room care. They were wishing you hurry up and cut it short.
No, they were saying,
I promise
oh
you.
my gosh, if I ever go through something like that, I will know now.
That's
what they
in
were
your
saying.
profound thinking. They really don't care.
Right.
They
Well,
were-
I care.
They were thinking, did she have the China virus or something? Right. It may have been important to you and your husband. I understand that part.
Well, I thought, okay, so you ask us week by week, did you have a life? I had a life, and I'm sharing my life. Now no one wants to hear about
Well,
my
I
life.
don't want to hear the whole life in one day.
Gosh, how long was the story? It was no more than 5 minutes.
That's what you think. Everybody was sleeping. They're like, when is she going to get to the end of this?
Well, I accept that.
Right on.
Yeah.
And so, how does it feel knowing nobody care?
I don't care what anybody thinks.
But you think we did care.
I don't care that nobody cares. I care.
Did you care that we did care?
No.
Yes, you did.
Did I care that you cared?
When you thought that people cared, did you care that people cared?
I never thought that people cared because I can feel the room.
What did you feel?
I felt that they probably didn't care, but I'm still going to tell my story because it's profound to me.
Amazing. Nice. And so are you through with your little tick right now?
Absolutely. We're friends again. We're friends again.
So are you a sinner?
No.
Which is easy for you to accept, that you're a sinner or all your sins have been forgiven?
That they've all been forgiven.
Has it always been that way for you or
No.
lately since you understand?
Absolutely not. This is lately since I've come to this.
Right. And how did you come to realize that now?
Because I know that it isn't me. I know that there's a distinct difference between the me and the not me.
Right. Oh, good.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this and I realized we've been lied to about the sin thing. Because Christ said clearly our sins have been forgiven. Right. But yet, all of our life we suffer in sin with the idea of sin. Because the parents and the church and everybody have told us that we are sinners. That we are all sinners, need to be saved, and blah, blah, blah. And we think all of life we be trying to get saved and can't get saved. Right. It's like what this young lady was saying, she thinks that that's just in her flesh and blah, 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 right? But it's not even part of her at all, but she's been told that all her life. And you go to church trying to get saved. You read the Bible trying to get saved. You try to act right to be saved. And it just doesn't work because there's nothing to save you from. Isn't that amazing?
It is. It just creates more issues because you're trying to chase something that you can never get to. It's like this thing that's out of reach when you think that you're a sinner because you can't, really.
Let me ask the young lady in the brown shirt, sweater. Are you cold?
Yeah, a little bit.
Can we turn it down a little bit, Hate?
No, I'm good. I got my jacket.
You okay?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hate the one that has everything turned up that cold. Yeah. Which is easier to accept, that you're a sinner or that all your sins been wiped away?
Am I a sinner or my sins been wiped away? I think at first I would have said that I'm a sinner.
And why?
Because I think us as humans, or let me speak about myself, I think that when I see that, I'm very flawed and there's still a lot of things for me to overcome, I think that I'd continually need to be forgiven because there are so many sins, even though I know that they're not me, if that makes sense.
Repeat it and a little louder for me.
I was saying, before I would have said it would be harder for me to accept that I'm a sinner because there's so many flaws that I have that I see. And us as people, or myself as a person, I feel like even though you get rid of two things and you overcome two things, there's always more waiting. Like, when do you get to the point where there isn't any more? Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
What flaw do you have?
Too many, lots.
Name one.
I'm too brash.
You too brash?
Yeah, I react too quickly sometimes.
Oh.
Too harsh.
Oh, okay.
Kind of rude, but not rude, but to the point. I don't know if that's cultural or if that's just me as a person.
mean like you go off sometimes?
No, not flick
When
off.
you say, I mean, what do you mean by that then? You're too brash. You
Like
go off.
personality-wise, like what you see is what you get. Like I'm not gonna be fluffy to make you feel
just gonna
good.
Speak your mind.
Yeah, but it's not It's not intentional. It's not like on purpose.
You just pretend to be speaking your mind.
No, like
What do you mean not on purpose?
Like well, that's the thing. Is that the not me and that's just cultural, right? Or is
What
that?
do you mean by you too flawed? You just speak your mind, but not on purpose. Are you pretending to be? You're playing when you're speaking your mind?
No, I'm not playing, but I mean, like, you know how some people are very, like, sweet and gentle and nice and quiet and when they deliver things, it's very nice.
Right, I do know that.
Right?
But you, how? How are you with that?
Just to the point.
Oh, okay.
But if I was at home in England, right, that would be normal.
To go to the point.
To be to the point.
So if
to
you
be
didn't
blunt.
like something about someone, rather than beating around the bush about it, you
say
just
what
say it.
You just say what it is, yeah.
But a nice person say, "Oh, I'd like to tell you this, but I don't know this."
Yeah, there's like a
"Oh, I
whole
got
extra
you."
rack of fluff, yeah.
And that's a flaw in you.
I'm trying to decide if that is a flaw in me or if that, like I said, is that's cultural or if that's something that I need to change.
And do you do it with love or anger?
I think a bit of both, if I'm being honest. I think sometimes it's love and sometimes it's anger, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Both.
And so the flawed part of you is that. Sometimes you do it with
Well, there's
anger or love.
multiple flaws, but I'm just giving you one example.
I'm sorry?
I'm just giving you one example, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And why do you call that a flaw in you? However you do it, why do you call it a flaw?
I think 'cause sometimes I see people's reactions and I think, oh, you know, maybe I need to reel that back a bit and be very conscious of how I speak or how I interact and make sure that I'm not offending people. But then I feel like you're then trying to be something that you're not to make other people happy.
That's so interesting to me. It's so much. This young lady want to get into it. I know you have a question, so I'll come to you in a minute. No, back to her for a minute. And why do you call that you?
Well, that's what I'm trying to see right now. Is that me? Is that right? Should I change it? Should I not change it? You know what I mean? That's where I'm at with that
Right.
particular
And you
flaw.
call it a flaw in you, right?
I think so, yeah.
And where are you in that?
What do you mean?
In that whole being that way?
I think I'm trying to analyze every situation that I find myself in to make sure that I'm being right, like doing right and being right in that situation and not reacting and not judging and trying to go about it the right way.
Oh, okay.
And just kind of not overanalyze it, but be in the moment and in the present with every situation that comes up and do my best to appropriately
So
be the right way.
when you are that way and you see another person overreact to it,
Mm-hmm.
you catch yourself and to see
I catch
it
myself and I try and see, okay, is this issue in that person or is this an issue with me?
Oh,
And if
okay.
it's in me and I see it's in me, then I'll go back and apologize or try and have a conversation about it or, yeah. But then it's different because then if I talk to people back home, like my family or my siblings, it's understood. It's only over here that it's not quite understood.
Oh, I see. So over in Europe, they go off on each other?
We don't see it as going off. We just see it as being to
Is
the
this
point.
before tea or after tea? Or during tea?
Both.
I think the whole problem is in you.
Yeah, probably is.
And the reason I say that, the fact that if you went off on somebody, whether intentionally or unintentionally, and they got upset about it, and now you're checking yourself to see what's wrong with you is where the flaw is, because if you go off on someone and they overreact, it's not...
But
it's
firstly, though, what do you mean by going off on somebody?
well,
Because I don't go off on people.
When you're what do you call it?
We're just I'm talking in general relationships and conversations and day-to-day life. I don't just go off on people.
Oh,
No.
Well, over here we call it going off.
I don't know what that means.
Over there you call it tea time.
Yeah, I don't go off, just so that we're on the same page. I don't go off on people.
Right,
That's
I
very
understand.
rare.
I don't know if white people go off anyway. I think it's just black people. We go off.
Okay. I don't really know what that means.
Right. Let me smoke on it. I want to come back to you with that. It's very, very interesting. All right? But I want to come back before the meeting is over. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
So if our sins have been washed away, what's the concept of being baptized?
It's supposed to be an example of what's happening on the inside. You've been cleansed on the inside because real baptism is spiritual now. Water baptism is not necessary. It was necessary back then, but it's spiritual now. But some people like to do it with the water and just say, well, this is what has happened on the inside.
So is that something you suggest, like, people do?
No. I would say if you want to do it, you mean water baptism?
Yes.
No, I wouldn't suggest it, but I wouldn't be against it. If you want to do it, do it. If you don't. As long as you've been baptized. Everything now is spiritual. We have a new world, new reality now of spiritual life because we've been returned to the Father. So it's not necessary now.
So how do you know if you have been, like, in a spiritual sense, you've been baptized?
You'll be able to see. When you can see. Amazing, huh? Have you been baptized before with water?
I have not.
Okay. Are you planning on doing it or something?
Well, I was in great debate because I know traditionally they say, well, technically, your sins haven't been washed away if you have not been baptized. Traditionally in church, that's what they say.
Well, that I guess they got from the Old Testament.
Yeah.
But now Christ came and it is spiritual now. In the New Testament, we have a new way of living now. Of the Spirit. Everything is of the Spirit now.
So I'll just know when it happened.
Yes. You will know.
Okay.
And that's why I'm trying to encourage everybody to work on themselves. Because it will happen and you will know. And there's nothing like you can ever imagine. All right? So you can't imagine this. It's not of the imagination. All right?
Okay.
That makes sense?
Thank you.
Did you deal with whether you're going back to Chicago or wherever, Homer or not?
Yes, I did.
Did you decide to stay or go?
I'm staying.
Nice.
Yeah.
They mad at you?
I did kind of warn them and just kind of told them, like, hey, I want to live my life. You got to respect what I want to do. And it did kind of back off. So it panned out.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that example I gave of the demons and the operator there, the guy, have you seen that in you? You could be friendly 1 minute, and if that person look at you wrong or say something wrong, or you think something, you go off.
I've gotten to a point where I don't necessarily go off because I recognize that something is happening within me. But absolutely, 1,000%, yes.
Yeah, I can see you doing that. You're all nice and thin and grinning. As soon as somebody says they don't like something about you, you're going off.
Well, not exactly like that. Not like how you think.
How I think.
Well, most would think like, oh, maybe I don't handle criticism well and maybe I get mad when people tell me about myself. But really, I don't. It's usually when people like try to accuse me or something or, trying to play a game.
That's when you go off?
I don't necessarily go off.
What do you call it?
I can't say it's me going off. It's just a thing of I'm just not going to necessarily tolerate that.
And why not?
Because it's not true.
And why? So you're not going to tolerate it by doing what?
Well, I'm going to correct it. Like, that's not true. Like, what you're saying you do, it's not true. So I'm going to tell you it's not true.
And are you nice about it or are you nasty about it?
I'm not nice or mean. I'm just like, that what you're saying and doing is not right. It's wrong.
How about when your boyfriend say, I don't know if you have a boyfriend or not, when he says something that's not true, how do you deal with that? Not that she has one. I don't know if she has one.
Well,
How do you deal with him?
Well, I think that's a little different, don't you think?
What's different about that? You
Well,
gonna treat him worse than you treated other people?
No, because everyday people, it's like, okay, I may give you the benefit of the doubt because I don't run into you every day. I don't deal with you every day. But if I'm dealing with a person every day
Yeah.
and they're doing X, Y, Z every day, especially when they know that I've told them, hey, what you're doing ain't right. And, it's not going to be good for this kind of environment. And they continuously do it. I think that would evoke a different kind of reaction.
What kind of reaction?
I'm saying it's like someone keeps running you over and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, but I'm going to keep running you over with my car. Eventually, somebody's going to get upset.
And so your boyfriend run you over sometime with your car?
I'm just saying it's an example of like, you can't expect someone to stay, I don't know, cute about something when they keep doing the same thing.
Can you give me an example without going all personal, but an example so I can understand what you're saying?
Okay. Let's just say I came up there and I stepped on your shoes. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. Jess, I didn't mean to do that. And then I do it again. And then I do it again. And I just keep doing it. And at some point, you like, I don't know if you sorry or you just trying to get a reaction out of me because you just keep stepping on my shoes.
That, I would know you were insane if you came all the way up here.
Exactly.
I'm like, that's a crazy person.
Exactly.
And so your boyfriend is crazy?
I don't know if these people are crazy, and I just know that people.
Do you treat him better? Do you treat him differently or worse than you treat anybody else?
But that's what I'm saying. I think that's different.
Do you treat him any differently than you would treat anyone?
I'm just gonna say it's the same.
Do you treat him any differently than you treat a stranger or anyone?
I don't know. I don't
Yes, you
know.
do.
Because I just think it's different. I just think it's different when you're dealing with someone every day.
Do you treat him any differently than you treat anyone else?
I guess it would be different. It would be different.
So you treat your boyfriend different?
It would be different in a sense.
Is it different?
Yeah. For the sake of, well, yeah, I guess so. I guess it would be different.
You treat him different than you treat anyone else?
By default, yes.
I'm sorry?
By default, yes.
By default?
By default, yes.
What do you mean by that? You put him at a vault and want to throw him in there?
No. I'm saying by default, yes, that would be true.
What do you mean by default?
Because of the given circumstance. Like, I don't deal with people every day.
Oh, I see.
Do you get what I'm saying?
And so you show other people love all the time, but you don't show him love all the time.
Not necessarily. I can't even say love.
You don't even love him.
No, I can't even say that. It's just, it's different. Like, I wouldn't expect you to know what I like or don't like because you don't deal with me every day. You don't know me every day.
Right.
But him, I would expect him to know, like, maybe I should put the seat down or, maybe I should do X, Y, Z because she's not going to like that.
What the? Lord have mercy.
Oh, God.
And so, like, if you didn't put the seat down, you'll get ticked.
Well, not necessarily ticked. It's just, it's
You'll
a
go
pattern.
off.
We know.
Let's say you told him 1,000 times to put the seat down.
Yes.
And 1,001, he didn't put it down again. And then you go off.
Well, sure. Sure.
Would you?
But not
I don't want
necessarily
to put
go
words in your
off.
mouth.
Not necessarily go off. It's just, I don't
You
know. It
yell
comes,
at him.
Not even yell, because when someone does the same thing every time, it's like, it's to a point where it's like, this is just probably who you are.
You would say that.
Yes.
But you wouldn't say that to a stranger.
Well, because I haven't told that stranger 1,000 times.
Oh, I see.
Do you get what I'm
Does
saying?
God deal with you every day, all day?
That would be true.
What
Yes.
would be true? That was a question.
Yes, he does. He does.
And does he go off sometime because you don't put the seat down?
No, he doesn't. He
So why don't
wouldn't.
you treat him the same way?
That's a great question. I guess it would be because in my thoughts, which are not true, and I know that, but it could be a challenge when your thoughts are saying he's doing this on purpose, and in reality, it looks like he's doing it on purpose because it's happened so many times.
Right.
So it's a battle of like, is this a thought or is this just a true observation?
So you believe the thought.
But that's what I'm saying. Is this a
But
thought or
right, but you believe the thought that he's doing it intentionally.
not initially?
Right.
No.
But after a while, you start believing the thought.
After a while, I'm like, wait a
I
minute.
told him to put the seat down in your head. And it's 101,000 times and he's still not doing it.
But I'm saying, isn't it fair to think when someone does something like over and over and over again, wouldn't it be a fair thing to think like this may just be a part of who they are?
No. That's evil to think that. Because just go and put the seat down when you need it. And when you're making a big deal, then things will go the way they should go.
But the seat is just a very petty example.
I understand that part.
Yeah.
But still, no matter what the situation is, you shouldn't make a big deal out of it, period. What kind of example is that to set? You're not showing love. You're not showing the example. So there's nothing happening to make him realize, oh, because if you didn't overreact and got upset, if you didn't get upset about it at all, maybe the light in you will shine on the darkness in him, and he'll do it without even thinking about it. But now he knows that that's what you want. He's ticked too. He's not going to do it. It's just two devils fighting.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like.
I can't hear you.
I said that's what it seemed like, yes.
Because you in your imagination, you're not showing love. Men don't normally think about putting the seat down. And then if they don't like you, which they don't like you anyway, they're going to say, I ain't putting this seat down. She's trying to tell me what to do.
But the seat is just a very, like I said, a very petty.
Right, because one fight leads to
example.
another one.
Yeah.
Why not just have no fight?
That would seem like the way to go.
It is the perfect way to go.
Yeah.
I saw this abortion rally. Someone said, come and go to an abortion meeting with me. I went. And it was the people who was against abortion, anti-abortion. So apparently abortion becoming a big deal this year, right, in the election. And so the anti-abortion are plotting how they're going to go after the pro-abortion people. They're going to go after them, right? And they were, in their meeting, they were calling them names, and they were saying what they're going to do, and they're going to have their protest. And so afterward, I asked a couple of people there, we were standing around talking. I'm like, have you ever had an abortion? They're like, yeah, I had an abortion. That's why I know it's wrong. And a couple of people had been in divorces and everything, right? And so I asked, what good is it doing you to fight with the pro-abortion people? The people that, what good is that going to do to have you rally and fight with them? They said, well, I'll be standing up for the unborn. I'm like, no, you're not. Because that night, they're going to go home and kill the baby anyway. You're not standing up for anything. You're just getting an ego feeling from this. The best way to fight, you have a politician that represents your district. Call your politician, say, I'm not for abortion. We need to get this bill done. If you don't do it, we're going to fire you. Going out and fighting against one another is not solving any problem at all. It just makes everybody feel good and holy, like they stand up for a cause. There's another way to fight. We have people to, it's like somebody married. Your husband go off every day. You don't have to go to work because he's going to bring home the bacon, right? You ain't got to fight with him. We got to stop taking sides. We got to stop fighting. All we're doing is fighting one another rather than showing love. And the people that are for abortion can't see. And those who are against abortion can't see. That's why they're fighting one another. It doesn't need to have, it's all ego. And that's what you're doing with your boyfriend, if you have one. That's all you're doing. You're fighting him, trying to get it your way, and he's fighting to get it his way. Well, if you cut out the fight, the situation will work out. I promise you. It will work out. But you don't trust God. You don't trust that. You trust the devil. I got to get it my way and my way now or no way. What do you think about that?
I would love to talk more about that, but yes, I agree.
You would love to talk about what?
Like more about that.
If you treated everyone with love, meaning no anger, no hate, you will see the power of God working in your life. But you don't trust that. It's easy to trust the devil. You got to make it happen. What do you think about that?
That makes sense. That's right.
And I know you use that as an example, right?
Yes.
But just, you go in the bathroom, put the seat down, that's all. Don't think about it. Don't let the devil say, oh, he didn't put the seat down. I told him 1,000 times. Or his clothes is over in the corner, and I told him to put it over there. And then you go yelling and screaming, why didn't you put your clothes over there? And I told you to. The devil keeps you busy fighting. When most people don't trust God at all. They don't even know what it means to trust God. They love to fight. I heard one quick story about some person said something about some woman, and when the family heard about it, they all joined forces with the person that said it, and all of a sudden they would, before they even liked the person in the family, and then all of a sudden they were like, oh, we love you, we care about you, and then find out later the person that lied on the other person, they had all of them turned their backs on that person. They had taken sides. You got to stop taking sides. Really. That's what evil want you to do. It's okay to say, oh, fine, no, okay, whatever. Don't argue. Stay. You will have peace, and the love, the miracles will happen in your life because you're trusting what's right now. That makes sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
But what?
Well, for the sake of, I know there's a lot of people in here and you want to keep it short, but like I said, the seat was just a very nice example for the sake of fellowship. But when it comes to the bigger things in life, like not a toilet seat, way bigger, how would you navigate that?
Number one, not getting angry.
Okay.
Because you're in your situation because you want to be in that situation. You can't even with the bigger situation, you can't blame that person. You're in that situation. You want to be there because you want to be in that situation. And your intent is to control it. You're trying to control another person. And that's why you're feeling the pain of the person not being light and doing light and whatever you want them to do. Get out of the situation. All you do is walk away from the situation. You don't have to be mad. Just say, hey, this is not for me. I understand. Bye. But you'd rather fight to try to make the person do it your way. What are you thinking?
No, that sounds right.
Which is better, to be free or to fight?
Definitely free, for sure.
So why do you keep fighting?
Oh no. Yeah.
Nice. Right here, in the blue shirt. The biblical question this week, what is it?
I forgot. Jesse, I forgot.
You forgot the biblical question?
Yeah.
You didn't do it this week then.
I mean, that would be the logical conclusion, yeah.
Did you work on yourself this week?
I got worked.
What?
on. I got worked on.
Meaning what?
Rough week.
In what way?
You know, well, up until that moment when you were talking about demons, plural, I'd never really thought of it that way.
That's why I brought that up, because this is why I keep encouraging you to keep your eyes on yourself, so you'll see what's happening in you, and it will cause you to see what's happening in everybody.
And it makes perfect sense, because they were all coming at me this week.
The demons.
Yeah, they even made me forget the biblical question.
Yeah.
Because I was here, I should have known.
All right. And how do you react to the demons this week?
Let's go. Let's scrap it out.
Is that what you said to the demons?
Yeah, it must have been another demon talking to another demon.
That's right. Well, that's what I want y'all to know. These things are not us. Those are demons in us, and they come in all forms. They can come in all kind of attitudes and situations, and if you don't watch yourself, if you don't keep an eye on yourself, you're not going to catch them. And then if you do keep an eye on yourself, you're going to catch them before you can feel anything about it. Because the light of God will allow you to see the darkness. The darkness cannot perceive the light, but the light can see the darkness. And there's no competition. But you gotta do what you want, but you gotta keep your eyes on you. It's never about the other person. It's always about you watching you. It's always about you watching you. Even when your family was trying to convince you not to go to LA, right? It was about you watching your reaction to them. What did you think about it, right? And blah, 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 how you react to it, so you can see if you like them for it or dislike them for it, or you appreciate it or didn't, just watch it. It's always about, and it's amazing when you watch you. It's about watching you. It's not about anyone else. That makes sense?
Yes.
What's the biblical question this week?
Oh, Jesse, we're visiting from out of town. We're not aware of it.
Do you listen to the show?
I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Did you hear the show this week?
Not this week. No, we came in.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, we came in from Modesto, California, down here for a tournament. Yeah.
Does your wife obey you?
She does. Yeah.
All right.
She's a really good job.
And how did she come to obey you? What is it about you that made her obey you?
Well, I think for us, just because we own a martial arts academy, we own a jiu-jitsu gym together. So
you know you're gonna take her down?
No, she's actually the one. She's the one that competes more than I. Yeah. So we own a jiu-jitsu academy together. She's also a teacher in schools, but so we're partners on just about everything that we do throughout the day.
Do you ever correct her?
I guess just like she talked about demons, she wouldn't label it that way. I wouldn't label it as correcting as much as it is like sometimes we reason on things, like biblical things. We'll sit down and reason out some of the things, subjects that are maybe puzzling.
And do you ever correct her?
Yeah, I don't. I guess I would need to know your definition of correcting.
So you never corrected the point. You don't even know.
I never
what it
said
is?
no. You're wrong. Let me correct you. No, I've
You
never
don't?
done that. No.
And so how do you deal with the hell in her when it comes out?
I like just even saying that, nothing pops into my head as far as.
So she never get angry?
At me?
Does she ever get angry?
Oh, yeah, I've seen her be upset. I don't know about anger. Like I think And again, I'm not trying to beat around the bush. I just don't see it as anger when she feels maybe let down by somebody. Or sometimes in our academy, we deal with a lot of parents of kids and who have kind of unreasonable expectations for their kids. Right. And so they'll go to her complaining about certain things, and she'll be a little bit like flabbergasted, like, how could they think this about their kid? How can they put this much pressure on their kid? But I don't think that she's angry with them. Yeah.
Does she ever get angry?
Honestly, I'm drawing a blank, Jesse. I've never seen anything that I would classify as anger.
You never see her as angry? How about upset?
Yeah, upset.
You see her upset.
I've seen her upset, yeah.
So when you see her upset, do you correct her by telling her to calm down?
Well, no, she could attest to this. I've never said to her, calm down.
And why not?
Not the choice of words for me. For me, it would be like, babe, we're
you
to...
said babe?
Yeah, I do. Sorry. Is that not?
So
I don't know.
No, that's
is that Modesto talk? I don't know. and Jesse, just so you know, I forgave my mama, and I love all people, including the whites. And I just including the whites, and and I do silent prayer. I just want to get that out of the way so you don't ask those questions.
Right. And so when your wife is upset,
yes,
you don't correct her then either?
No, I just think that's a harsh, even like the word is just not something that my brain can process. Like when I think correcting, I think like maybe what you do to a child sometimes, like your own child.
Right.
I wouldn't put that on the same platform with my wife. Yeah.
And are you?
And that's just being honest.
No, I
honest,
appreciate it. I understand.
Yeah.
Are you the head of your wife?
I believe so, but yes, wholeheartedly.
Are you the head of her?
Yes.
You're the head of your wife?
I believe so, yes.
And so why don't you correct her when she's upset?
Well, again, that's that word again. If I've seen something where she's upset, we'll talk about it and reason. But I just feel like it's a harsh word to say correct. For me, my own.
Right, I understand.
Yeah.
Do you realize when she's upset, you're looking at demons in her?
I've never recognized that as demons.
That's what they are. That's why you're scared of them.
No, sitting here and like even hearing her talk about it, that would be a first for me also. Like when we're talking about the sins of the flesh, and when Paul says it's no longer I that does it, but it's a sin living within me.
Right.
I've never actually thought about that as a demon. Well, first of all, he doesn't say that, but I can see what that means. Yeah.
He's realized that it's not him, but something made a home.
And something has to be living, right? So that would be a demon.
What did you think he was talking about made a home?
No, it would have to be living. I've never thought, but you've done this for me for years, letting me see things that it's just a beautiful thing. I mean, that's why we're here.
Right.
Because I've never looked at it as a demon. Silent prayer has changed our lives with our kids even. I've called in one time before to thank you for it.
Right on.
Because it's been so meaningful to, we have a 16, 14, 14, and 10. And the normal prayer we've done for so many years was worthless. But by doing the silent prayer and then at the end, before we eat, just asking my kids, hey, was there anything that came to your mind that you gave up? Oh, Dad, I had a bunch today. And then sometimes they'll be like, I only had a couple things, Dad.
Right.
But we never actually, it's revolutionized prayer for us.
Right on.
And we have you to thank for that, so thank you.
But now that you know there are demons in her, will you deal with them?
I think now I can't go back and see them as anything other than that to include the ones in myself.
Right.
I mean, I had demons driving here from Long Beach, kind of giving me anxiety. Anything of anxiety, right, would be a demon. So
demons, those are demons too.
Right. And so even tournament-wise, we have a few of our students that were competing this week, and just sometimes your mind jumps, like I would hate for my wife to get injured while she's competing, and then your mind goes forward, like, okay, if she gets injured, how do I deal with that? And and so your mind goes where it doesn't belong, right? God's country is the future. So
how old are the kids?
So there's 15, 16, 14, and 10.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
And so your wife is one of the trainers?
She's one of the instructors. I'm the head instructor, but she also runs the back office. You were talking earlier about something like as far as anxiousness. I think you were talking about one thing my wife knows about me is at the end of teaching sessions, I go straight in my office. I don't hang out to talk with people after I teach, because I know that patience is probably one of my biggest opportunities in where I am in life now. Is I know that if I put myself in a predicament where there's an opportunity for these demons that you're talking about to present like an area of, or test me on patience, then I probably won't react well. So I go into my office and I just kind of stay put for a while.
Oh.
So I try not
well,
to.
I want to encourage you not to do it that way.
No? Okay.
You need to.
I'll receive that.
You need to deal with people so you can see what's inside of you. And when you see it, don't overreact, of course, but just see it so you can overcome. You can't run from it.
Right.
You got to run toward it.
Sure.
You got to see it. So you need to be not staying in your office, but face it so you can see what's in you.
That makes sense. I mean, I guess I would attribute that past way of framing my thoughts is kind of like if you were struggling with alcohol. Well, if you had to buy chips or just some basic items, you wouldn't go to a liquor store just because there would be that opportunity of maybe testing you. So I've avoided that. To your point, maybe I should just face it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have a problem with alcohol, because alcohol is not the problem, it's
Right.
the spiritual stuff underneath there
Sure.
that's the problem.
That makes
it's
sense.
the anger
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So you need to face that too.
Makes sense.
Go to the liquor store and see what happens, see how
Sure.
you feel, so you can watch what's going on.
Sure.
You can't run from the stuff, you got to face it.
Sure.
Amazing.
Yeah. No,
Nice.
I've really enjoyed I'm saying this on behalf of my family. You've made quite the impact.
Well, stay with it,
yeah.
stay with it, stay with it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Really, if you stay with it, well.
I appreciate it.
All right?
Yeah.
So how do you feel knowing that he's not the head of you?
Wait, what?
How do you feel knowing that your husband's not the head of you?
I've never felt that he wasn't.
So you did. So are you the head or not?
He
oh,
is.
you are the head of your wife.
Yeah.
How do you feel when he doesn't correct you when the hell comes out?
I think, how do I explain that? It's not so much, I rarely get like overly upset. That rarely happens. If I have like, I'm high on emotion, it's usually like disappointment or like sadness dealing with like a family member or like you mentioned, like a parent at the gym, a customer, that kind of thing.
Right.
And so I'm sure if I'm venting to him, I wouldn't say, maybe we don't think of the term correction. He'll help me rationalize through what I'm feeling, and then it helps me get through that and to where I get over it pretty quickly. So I guess in those terms, you might be seeing that as correcting. He's helping me like through that, and then.
Would you rather that he correct you or rationalize you?
I don't know.
Well, you don't know which one you prefer?
Yeah, I see them as like almost the same.
But what would you prefer, to be corrected or to be rationalized?
I mean, if I'm in the wrong with something, I would never mind that he corrected me. So I guess correcting me would be fine. Yeah.
You prefer that he corrected you?
Yeah, I would have no problem
he's
with
going
that.
to start after that. He cannot not correct you.
Right.
And you're not going to like it.
Yeah, I mean,
But that's okay that
I'll
you don't
admit
like it.
when I'm wrong,
Because that's
yeah.
the hell. When she doesn't like it, that's the hell in her.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so if she doesn't like it, no problem. Right? You say you can admit what now?
Oh, I was gonna say I can admit when I'm wrong. So if there was something I needed correction on, he would be like the opinion that would matter the most to me.
You got a job ahead now, buddy.
But just as a quick example, for a school teacher, I don't know if there's any school teachers in here, but if there are, to be a teacher in the schools these days is an exceptionally difficult job to have, and so I know when she goes to the schools and gets worked up when she comes back home, and so I know what happens when she absorbs, and so every morning, whether we're making coffee or having breakfast before she goes off to teach, I always let her know a quick reminder. Hey, babe, just remember we're not absorbing. We're here to make a contribution, but don't absorb. Don't absorb.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yes, sir. Anybody? I saw your hand a while back, and I apologize. And then I got to ask the biblical question. We out of here. Yes.
Going back earlier, you said to give up the fight.
Yes.
That's showing love.
Yes.
So is the government showing love to the criminals by continuously releasing repeat offenders?
No.
I mean,
no,
I think what the young lady was
they're
talking
not
about.
showing love.
There's a point where like you keep telling them, And if they don't listen, you gotta put your foot down, right? You gotta.
No, they're not
Something's
showing
gotta.
love.
There's got to be some kind of way to stop that from continuing, right? I mean.
No, they're not showing love. They're showing the lack of love, if anything.
So, but we should just continue letting people, like yank our chain, like as the saying goes, like just, if they just keep poking us and poking us, just let it happen.
I don't know what you mean.
Like when you're dealing with someone who continuously does the same thing that's incorrect, and you tell them, stop doing it, and they
Don't
keep
get
doing it.
angry, you'll see what to do. The only way you can't deal with it right is because you're
Just
getting
not fight with them, right? Just don't fight it.
Yeah, don't fight
them.
with them, but don't get angry so you can see the way to deal with it. You see your way out of that situation. The Father will show you out.
But when it's someone that you deal with every day, that's.
I don't care who it is. There is never, ever, 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 but never, 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 ever a reason to get angry. No matter what happens, there's never a reason to be angry. Because the moment you get angry, you're of your father, the devil. And you're going to deal with it wrong. But don't get angry, then you see how to resolve that issue. Get away from it.
Okay.
Just stay away from the anger. Stay present.
All right.
All right?
And then the biblical question.
Go ahead.
Are emotions necessary?
Right on. Somebody. Are emotions, what was it?
Are emotions necessary?
Are emotions necessary?
Yes, they are necessary in order to deceive.
They are necessary in order to deceive? What do you mean?
Like when these women start crying in court and then the judge, takes their side. Or when people start crying in general, they start, showing their emotions.
Oh, I see. So they're necessary
that's
to
for evil. Yeah, they're necessary.
Okay.
Emotions are necessary for evil.
All right.
Yeah.
Are emotions ever necessary? Are emotions ever necessary?
Well, before I met you, I thought, good emotions are good things, positive things. It's a way to show love and gratitude and appreciation and joy and spread the love.
Speak up a little bit.
And spread the love. Bad emotions obviously are unhealthy, so they're not necessary. So my question would be to you, if I may, are good emotions okay? Like to feel moments of love and joy,
Are emotions necessary?
I think good emotions are necessary.
What's a good emotion?
Like the love I show to my daughter or to my partner, my mother, to my loved ones. I think those are nice feelings.
You have a husband?
No.
What's your partner? Your business partner?
No, I mean people that I care for in my life, right? Like like a friend or my daughter, my mother, family. I think it's nice to show love for them and appreciation and gratitude. I think those are important.
And your question for me is what now?
My question to you, if good emotions are okay, or are we not supposed to?
I'll get back to you with that. I want to get some feedback from the people about it first.
Okay.
The young man in the white t-shirt, are emotions ever necessary?
Yes, to deal with evil, yes.
Speak up.
To deal with evil, it is necessary.
Emotions are necessary to deal with evil?
Yes.
And what do you mean by that?
As the head of the household, I'm a father, and I take everybody's emotion on top of my shoulders to deal with them. Is that part of my job?
I know who you are now. What
I wish she was here with me.
I do too. I just what a
But
man.
I didn't. I'm
I'm just not recognizing who you are. Welcome, man. This is your first time
I
here.
shaved my beard. That's yeah,
Right
first
on.
time. First time.
And so you say emotional necessary for what reason?
To deal with evil.
And what do you mean by that?
To lead your wife and your kids, you need to deal with their problems and their hell. as the leader and as the head of the household. So I think it is necessary to deal with,
Oh, okay.
to lead them down the right path or something.
Amazing.
I don't know if I'm able to explain.
Okay, because of time, I'm gonna move a little faster because we gotta end it. I'll come back to you with that. Are emotions ever necessary? The young lady. Yeah.
No,
And why do you say no?
because they never help me in situations.
Can you give me an example of what you mean?
They never solve anything. They never bring me light. They never help me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. In the brown, are emotions necessary? And then right here.
No.
No emotion, never necessary ever.
Do I still have a lot of emotions? Sure, but I don't think they're helpful.
Are emotions necessary?
No.
And why do you say no?
Because even good emotions, they bring you up and then they bring you down. So,
Oh, okay.
you know, no. You need to be
Amazing.
level.
Are emotions necessary?
No.
And why you say no?
Because in the instances where I've been super emotional, whether good or bad, the opposite of that will happen, and I find myself fluctuating, and it's like a yo-yo.
How about the young lady? She went to the bathroom? When she come back, we'll deal with that. Are emotions necessary?
No.
And why do you say
Never,
no?
ever, ever, ever.
Never, 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 never,
Never,
never,
ever.
never. And why you say no?
I say it for me because emotions stem from a thought. So it's first the thought, then the emotion, then a reaction. But the thought, if you go off, all thoughts are all lies all the time, then you don't need it. Look at the thought and let it pass, and you won't have an emotion.
The young man in the brown, and then the last right here, and then I gotta end it. Are emotions necessary? Are they ever necessary?
I don't know. I don't know if I understand the question. I mean, it depends. If you're in sales, then emotions are great. If you want to sell something, I mean, it depends.
And
what
how
you
are they
mean.
great in sales?
Yes, they're great in sales.
Why?
Because people, they want to keep up with what's fashionable or whatever. I mean, people buy things all the time that they don't need based on emotion.
So they're great in sales, for an example you gave, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Are emotions ever necessary?
No.
And why do you say no?
I mean, similar to what some people had mentioned, I just feel that they're not necessary. Sure, when you feel happy, you feel good for that time being, but it's not a requirement to live a successful or fulfilled life. Like someone else mentioned as well, how about the love you show your loved ones, your spouse, your kids? I think love is more of a commitment and an action, and therefore I wouldn't need to feel an emotion in order to do what I know I should do to show them the love that they need from me.
And so you asked, that was your question, right? And did you hear her response to that?
I did.
What do you think about that?
I mean, it sounds good on paper. It sounds a little.
It's not on paper.
It's a little too logical for me.
It
I
is?
like showing love.
You do?
I do.
And where do you get the love from that you show?
I don't know. I just have it in me.
You don't
if
know
I
where
love a person, I mean, like my daughter, my mom, I just have love. It's just there.
Do you love your enemy?
No.
You don't?
No.
And so how can you love your mama and your daughter but not your enemy?
Easy. I know how to compartmentalize, I guess.
I'm sorry?
I just, like a door is just shut in front of me if it's an enemy. I just have no feelings. I don't have hate either, but I don't love them for sure.
Really?
Mhm.
Do you love God?
Absolutely.
Absolutely love God.
Yeah.
And how can you love God but not your enemy?
I don't think my God wants me to love my enemy. I mean, he doesn't want me hating anyone, but, he likes to actually keep them away from me.
Really?
As a
So when
protection.
he said that to love your enemy, you thought he was just playing?
I don't think that's my God. My God has more of a warrior spirit in him.
What
than
God, you
just
have the Allah Akbar God? Or
No.
something? What God you got? What God are you talking about?
Like the crusader type.
Oh, the Allah Akbar.
No. I'm just joking. I'm teasing you.
I know. But what God that, do you know the real God wants you to love your enemy?
My God wants me to love myself and take care of myself and protect myself first.
Does he want you to love your enemy?
No.
But when he said it, he didn't mean it?
He says just stay away from them.
No, he said to love them.
I don't want to love them.
You don't want to love them?
No.
Well, you don't love anyone then.
It's not true.
Remember, your daughter don't like you. You got all this love for your daughter. Remember how she was acting?
Right.
And she doesn't even like you with all your love.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I just I still love her, you know. It's
But you can't love her and hate your enemy.
I don't understand that.
Okay, stay with it, you know.
Okay.
You're doing the silent prayer, right?
I don't know the silent prayer. I actually wanted to.
Oh, you're not familiar?
No.
You've been coming here and no one told you about the silent prayer?
I've heard everyone speak of it. I just don't know the words to it.
Okay, there are no words.
No?
Ain't no song, ain't no word to this song.
Oh, thank you.
You just dance and hum along. All right, I want you to do it. Go to the
Okay.
site and start doing it.
All right,
So you
thank
can
you.
see clearly. All right?
Okay.
The young man here, and then the last fast question, and then I'm out. Nobody else in the blue. Wait about, yeah. Now that you know what the biblical question is there ever a reason to be emotional? No. Is that the question? Are emotions necessary? No. Are emotions necessary?
No.
And why do you say no?
Because they don't provide anything good.
How about love emotions? Are they good?
Love emotions?
The one she loved with her.
No,
She
absolutely
loved her
not.
mom and the door, but
No.
nobody else.
No. And I'm surprised she doesn't understand the basic part of the scripture. Like, Jesus said very specifically to love your enemy.
Yeah. But she's working on herself.
Yeah.
She'll get there. Be patient.
Oh,
But I'm glad you yelled at her.
okay, I see what.
You did it right. You corrected her.
Yeah.
Right on. Yes. Did you have your hand? Yeah. Okay.
I'm actually glad you said what you said because we've come all this way, and there's one question that I've wanted to ask and I never had a chance to, because I often hear this where it talks about love your God with all your mind, body, heart, and soul. Love yourself, so you love your neighbor, love your enemies. And so this is really kind of a question to you, Jesse. Is it really us in and of ourselves loving others or loving God,
No.
or is it His love through us as
It's
long as
Him
we
in
abide
us.
in Him,
Yeah.
and it's the vine's love through the branches?
Right. But anyone that has hate don't have His love. If you have one iota of anger, then you don't have His love.
Right.
See, you have Satan love, and that's what all that emotional love is about, is hate.
So
because there is no such thing as good love either.
So I wonder if it's a matter of, instead of trying just to start dying to self and allow Him to love others through you.
Once you truly die, He will, because that's what will come about. So there's no such thing, to answer your question, there's no such thing as bad love or good love. The so-called hate is hate. This feeling you have is hate too. You don't love your mother, you resent your mother. You don't love your daughter, you resent your daughter. Because you don't have love at all, but it just feels like love because Satan deceived you by pretending to be God. So he's trying to act like the love you feel is coming from God when it's really from Him. Because in God, there is no feeling of love. God's love is dispassionate. It's not a feeling. And there's never, ever, 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 I promise you, a reason to where emotions are necessary. There's nothing good about emotions at all. They're all evil. They're never necessary. And then if you notice that whenever you are emotional, whether it's good or bad, it's all about you. It's never about the other person. You always say, oh, I hate that person. Or you say, I love that person. And then you hate that person. And then you love that person, especially if they don't do what you want, now you hate them. And that's because it's all hate, and you've been calling it love, a game and playing on you. And they come with feeling because evils are feelings. God is a dispassionate God. He's not about feelings at all. That make sense?
I'm getting there.
Yeah, you are. I know, I'm seeing you in the meeting and stuff, so just be patient with it and keep eyes on yourself, and you will come to know. Everything will be made clear for you. It really, really will. It will be made clear, but you got to practice being present. Being present. And so I made a closing thing that I want to just mention. A couple of things. The elections are happening, and in here we're not talking about how you vote, and vote however you want. But I want you all to encourage you to be careful not to be angry about what you see happening. Whatever side you might be on, don't get angry about what you see happening. That's what the enemy wants. The enemy wants you to get angry, because once you get angry, you're going to put your own self in prison. He's going to imprison you. Even in your relationship, husband and wife, friendships or whatever, boyfriend, if you had one, you don't have one, but if you had one, don't get angry in relationships either. That's what the devil wants. He wants you to get angry. To the husbands and wife, leave your wife alone. Let her find her own way. Stop trying to teach. To the wife, leave your husband alone. Let him find his own way. Stop trying to teach. Because you're in the way of them discovering for themselves. Leave them in their own hell until they're ready to come out. They might not ever be ready to come out. God leave you in your hell until you want to come out. He's not trying to get you every day, and he's not sending Christ to go get that person. The way has been made. So leave everybody alone. Don't be mad at them because they don't want it or they do want it. So if this thing is happening now in the election time, don't be mad about what you see. The media wants you to be mad. Your team wants you to be mad. The other team wants you to be mad. They want a race war. They want you to fight. That's how they win, by getting you to fight. Look how long the people have been fighting over something called racism. What's going to come out of that? Nothing. Because it's not real. Don't take sides. You already know how you want to vote. Vote the way you want to vote. Don't argue about it. Do not get into that. That's what they want. When you're in relationship, he would mention his friend earlier that he tried to say, I'm sorry, what happened? The friend won't even respond to him because the friend think that he's controlling him now. Oh, he's calling me up now to apologize. He's calling me up to take responsibility. And he's not going to answer because he wants to control you. Leave it alone. Leave him in his hell. You go with your life. That's not a friend. That's not a relationship. So don't get angry about what you see happening, right? And there's never, ever, 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 but never a time to be emotional. Emotion only gets you deeper into hell because it's all about you. It's never about them. What sense does it make to get mad at someone else because they don't want to do something? Or they do want, let them go and do it. Okay, bye. You live your life. You are your own world. And then as far as you're not a sinner, you've been saved. We all have sinned. They couldn't find anybody on earth who had not sinned, except for one man. They couldn't find one woman. All the women had sinned. Sorry, ladies. I told y'all that sin come to y'all. But anyway, you stop thinking that way. You're thinking that way, and you're suffering from your thinking. And that's what the devil wants you to think. The Christian will tell you real fast they're a sinner. Oh yeah, I'm a sinner, and I'll always be a sinner. I sin daily. Wait, what? You're supposed to be overcoming daily, not sinning daily. Every day I'm made new. You're not being made into sin every day. What's wrong with you? That's why nobody healed. No one get better because they have been told and they believe the lie that they're sinners. Christ came and all of your sins have been wiped away. You're neither sinner nor saint, so don't think of yourself in either way. If you don't think that way, it won't be that way. The devil wants you to think that way. That makes sense? You're not a sinner. And the devil, you've been so trained by your parents and the churches and the Sunday school teachers and everybody that you're a sinner. It's hard for you to imagine that you're not a sinner. You don't need to think of yourself as a sinner or a saint. We all have sinned. Christ came and defeated the devil and brought us back. We're free. You can have paradise right here and now. You don't have to have hell in your life on earth. Because the way you drop your body, if you drop your body right now thinking yourself as a sinner, you're going to end up stuck and ain't no way out. Because you already believe you're a sinner, so you're going to act that way, think that way, believe that way. You drop your body, you're in hell, and you're stuck. Eternal life is right now. All right? So don't be mad about what y'all see happening. And stop judging people. They can't help themselves. They don't know what you know. They don't know that they're being controlled by evil. They can't help it. They think their thoughts and their feelings are them. They can't help it. That make sense? Is it making sense a little bit? Is it helpful? Yeah. And when you get ticked, it's you that's ticked. It's nobody else's fault that made you ticked. You're ticked, so see that you're ticked. And as you said, don't deny it and it'll fade away. See, no, that's emotional. You don't have a right to be angry. You were not given a right to be angry. The devil did that to you. If you want to be free, drop the anger. All right? And again, okay. And this week assignment, not the biblical question, I want you to watch in you the different demons in you. The love demon, the hate demon. And based on this demon, I'm getting my friend out of the way, fine, but I want you to watch the different demons in you and call it what it is so that you don't think it's you. Do not call it you. All right? But see them. And you have truckloads of demons in you, believe me. You're just not paying attention. But you got all kind of demons inside of you. Demons that you think are nice, and that is you, and it's not. And God wants you to see them so he can take them away from you. He said, come as you are. Come angry. Come this. Come on so I can save you from it. He's trying to save you from it, but you got to keep yourself on it. You got to see it so he can save you from it. And some of the family members and others were not here last Sunday when we dealt with, can you ever know another person? Remember that question? Was that the question? Yeah, a couple of Sundays ago, can you ever know another person? Maybe a few Sundays ago. Yeah. You cannot know another person. Only God knows that person's heart. And people will lie and hide in their heart from you. They'll say all the right things, but in their heart, they're evil. We cannot know another person. And some of the examples came up that said, oh yeah, if you know yourself, you know another person. Not true. What you know about the other person is that you know that they're controlled by demons because you see that you are controlled by demons. And that is not you, but that doesn't mean you know another person at all. Because people can say and do whatever. They can quote the Bible. They can say they hate their mama. They forgave their mama. They can say whatever needs to be said so that they can look good and you think that they got it. You don't know another person. You just know what drives them because you see what drives you. But you don't know another person. That makes sense? Yeah. So I don't have a biblical question. I thought I had one, but I'm going to have to smoke on it. I'm going to have to smoke on it, all right? I may have one for tomorrow. So listen, the assignment this week is what?
To watch yourself, observe the demons in you.
And call them what they are. Don't call them suppressed. Don't call them suicidal thoughts. even though the world called them that, and the world is insane, right? Those are demons. That's what Paul was talking about. They're in you, your mind and body, but not in you. They're not in you. You don't know who you are yet. They are not in you. They are in the physical mind and physical body, but not in you. They're not in you. You are perfect, as your Father in heaven is perfect. But you just don't know who that is at this point. All right? So stop being so defeated. Drop it, you free sons and daughters of God. All right? So amazing. We're out of time. Whatever. Yes. To be announced on men's forum. Oh, men's forum is to be announced. I'm not sure. This is the first Thursday coming up, this week coming up, but I'm not sure yet. I will know soon if I'll be here for the meeting. So hold on, listen up at the show or something. We'll test it out. But no, might not be a men's forum. And don't forget to donate. We need y'all to help. I shouldn't have to ask y'all. You're being helped, so give back. Go to rebuildingtheman.com, isn't it?
Do you think we'll post about it on events if we're doing it Thursday?
Yeah.
rebuildingtheman.com/events.
Right on. No. Alessa, did this help today?
Of course, yeah.
Oh, okay. Amazing. In one way, real fast.
You just said it at the end. I think with the whole sinner question, like, is it easier to accept the fact that you're a sinner or that your sins have been washed away? I think that we don't believe that we can be perfect and that it's possible to be that way. And so we condemn ourselves with how we think and how we speak all the time.
Because we've been taught to be that way.
Yeah.
From the moment we pop out of our mama's womb, she said, come on, sinner, let me take you to church. And from that point forward, you think you're a sinner. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
I can't tell you the number of people I've asked this question, which is easy for you to accept, that you're a sinner or that all your sins be wiped away? And everybody have said, wow, that's interesting. But it's hard for me to admit that all my sins have been wiped away. It's hard for most people to say all my sins have been wiped away. They have been conditioned to believe that they're sinners. And it's almost like blaspheme to say you're not a sinner. Right? Everybody on the earth says that they're sinners. It's not true. All of your sins have been wiped away. That's why your brother Christ, Jesus Christ, came and he wiped away your sins. So don't think of yourself either way, sinner or saint. Why not just be without any form of identity? Just be, and you'll be fine. Thank you all. Bye. Amazing.